I do feel like I'm kind, but I'm really playful, like really jovial. So like when I'm not, people are like totally turned off by that. They're like, oh, okay.
Perception is reality. So how somebody may perceive you is just their reality.
Yeah.
So I know I was told a lot when I was younger that I was rolling my eyes at people, and I was like, I didn't roll my eyes, but it's kind of like that rest and be face, right? So that if I'm not smiling, then I can look like I'm. So that's the perception I'm putting out. So.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to How the F Is This a Podcast. Today is our Women's Month special episode, and we have our two guests, Neci Walker-Jewett and Alexis Height.
And I am indeed a woman, just in case you all were wondering.
And of course, I'm your host, Doc G.
And I'm Krista Renee. Really happy to be here. This is going to be something special because we'll have the opportunity to talk about our truth, our resilience, and also our story as women just living in the States or just living.
And I'm just a bystander.
You're just here. You're just here because you're the co-host. Yeah, you're just here. So let us get into it. Starting with you, Neci, tell us a little bit, share with us a little bit about your journey. So asking like, where did you grow up? Briefly, like, I'm from here, I live here, and how did you actually transition to living in Richmond?
So I'm originally from Mount Vernon, New York. Ooh. Yes. Shout out to the 4 square miles. But I moved here almost 30 years ago with my oldest daughter. Just moved because I wanted to try to find something better. Was looking for a job, ended up being a nanny with my daughter, a living nanny for this crazy white family. And but then from there, it was weird because I went to try to apply for a job at Verizon. I'll never forget that. I really wanted this job because that was like stability to work at Verizon,
Yeah.
But I ended up getting fired from the nanny job. The offer letter came there. So I never saw it. But it worked out okay because that's when I actually ended up starting. I met my ex-husband and we started a tax business together.
Yeah.
So that, that wouldn't have happened because I probably would have still been at Verizon today.
Yeah. So you started the tax business, and how long did you stay in that business, and when did you like exit out, do something different?
Yeah, so I started the tax business again, like with my ex-husband. It was Easy Income Tax in Richmond. I mean, we had a jingle and everything. People knew the song. So we were pretty well known. We have 4 offices out here, and I ran my own office for probably about 15 years until we had a very tumultuous divorce, and I started my own tax office. But I sold the tax office to a good friend of mine who's running it now. And she's doing a phenomenal job, but I'm also a realtor. I'm like this serial entrepreneur. So I'm a realtor, and I also own a mental health business. So I exited out of the taxes, honestly, right around COVID. People honestly was getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
I can imagine because, everybody was getting those PPP loans and making these fake businesses, and they want you to hide their money. So they like, yo, let me hit up Neci.
Yes. I would say, I believe in Jesus, but I cannot walk on water. I cannot make those type of miracles. So, no, but it literally was the stimulus check. I promise you, that's what started it. When people will call me, my number's been the same for years. And people will call me at 5, 6 in the morning asking, where's your stimulus check? And I was like, I'm going to lose my reputation if I don't get out this business.
Yeah.
Because it was no longer, and I love doing taxes, but the people were really getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so it sounded like integrity was everything, and I think that's like a powerful thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So you did share really briefly that you came to Richmond with your daughter.
Yes.
But then you have 2 daughters now.
I have 3 total.
3 total.
Yes.
3 total.
Yes.
Yes. You have 3 total now. And so that's just phenomenal. So you took your story and just your need for something different in New York, moved to Richmond, which I'm from New York, same place, Mount Vernon, New York. And we can have a whole conversation about the difference between Mount Vernon and Richmond, but that's a whole nother topic. But you do that. Sorry, Lex, you from here?
I am.
I'm sorry. Like born and raised?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about you now. So you were born and raised in Richmond. Share with us a little bit about you.
I mean, I don't feel like mine is far as interesting as that. So I was born and raised in Richmond. Both of my parents went to Virginia State. They met at Virginia State. Neither one of them are from Richmond. So, I mean, that's pretty much the end, the beginning and the end. Like, I literally was born and raised in Richmond. I went to school in Greensboro, North Carolina. Me and Greg kind of have a similar background as far as the biology thing. Yeah. Wanted to go to medical school, ended up getting into mental health, and ended up not getting out. So I'm here. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I'm a Richmond native. So yeah, when y'all talk trash, I hear it. It's all good. You're here. So
tell me, like, what was like your childhood like being in Richmond? So I moved to Richmond in 2014. You know, after college, and you know, I'm a young adult. I'm out here. Life is totally different. So for you, growing up in Richmond, what was that like for you? And still being here.
Now, that I can speak to. I think growing up, life was pretty, like, regular. I guess that's the only thing I would have known. By the time I moved to Greensboro, I was older, young adult, in my 20s. By the time I moved to Philly, I was in my 20s. So I think I took the experiences a little differently. What I will say, though, is now watching Richmond is crazy to me because it's so many transplants. And so, like, we got areas like Scott's Addition where, like, it was one club. Like, where Wood and Iron is, it's like one club and, like, it got shot up. Or, like, Shaco Bottom was, like, not a thing. Or, like, so now I think I see all of these transplants, and it's cool to see Richmond grow. But at the same time, I don't think it's ready to grow so fast. But it's neat. It's neat to see it, yeah. So.
You know, talking, like, hearing you're from here and you moving here and just your connection to your community, because you said you got into mental health and you haven't gotten out, but you are doing mental health work in the community.
Correct.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your backgrounds and giving us and also the listeners something to, like, get to know you on. And so we're here to talk about Women's Month, or to honor it. And when you think about Women's Month or just being a woman, do you have some type of words that can sum it up for you?
I'll say that when I think about being a woman, I think about resilience, but sometimes I don't like when people constantly kind of use that word to describe a woman.
Yeah.
We're not a mule. You know what I mean? I don't want to, I mean, that whole S on my chest thing is kind of, I'm over that.
Yeah.
Yes, somewhat of the soft life is important.
Yeah.
So I think that, but the resilience of just perseverance of that part of it, not just being able to take on everything.
Yeah.
I don't like people who feel like, oh, you've overcome, so I can give you more no, I don't need any more strength. I know I'm strong.
Right. I'm good on that. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I'm just a girl. That's what I think about. Now, when I think about it, I just think about, like, finesse. Like, I feel like women have, like, a certain level of finesse that, like, life just needs. Like, not to say men don't, but they don't.
Like, but to say you know where you are.
Okay, I'm gonna let them have their moment.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a certain touch. Like, everything is kind of better with a woman's touch. No offense, Greg.
Oh no.
I think you've touched some nice things. I'm saying, that's how I feel. So I guess finesse would be, like, one of the words I think about.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah. When you hear the word legacy and womanhood, what comes to mind?
I was gonna say something stupid.
What came to mind?
Well, what came to mind?
Whoopi Goldberg.
What in the world?
Yes.
Wait, why Whoopi though? Wait. We about to go on a whole tangent. Because side note about Whoopi real quick. Yo, lately they've been tearing her up on threads. What happened?
She been getting crazy. She been getting crazy. Cause she came out.
Whoopi been getting crazy.
But they had Diana Taurasi just retired.
Yeah.
One of the all-time greatest women's basketball players. And she comes out on the stage and she's like, Diana Taurasi. And they're like, what? Like, you didn't know she was coming?
Right.
So then Diana Taurasi comes out and is like, hey, it's nice to see you, Whoopi.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think she just been.
That's so funny.
And she always has, like, a viewpoint that's, like, not with the rest of the. So I don't know.
She does her own thing, I guess.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
back to what we talk about.
No, that was good. Legacy and womanhood.
Whoopi, what you got?
No, I mean,
She
no,
like,
it's not
not
Whoopi. No, not at all. To be honest, it's weird. Whoopi Goldberg does not even come to my mind first.
But no, I said it was like silly.
Right, no, I got you. But I think when I think about legacy, I think about Ma being a mother. You know what I'm saying? You know, and not that you have to be a mother to leave a legacy, but I attribute mine. You know, when I think about my legacy, I don't want people to think about. I do want them to remember, like, you know, that I've been kind. You know, because I do try to be kind to everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is important to know that I was a good mother. Like, I let that be known. You know what I mean? Like, that is important to me.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that word kind, because there's a difference between being nice and being kind.
Absolutely.
And do you feel like sometimes as women, when we're unkind or when we're not nice, we get a bad, I feel like I'm asking this because I already know the answer, but like, what do you think about that? Like, we get a bad rap. I feel like I can't show up always in places how I would authentically show up,
Sure.
because then I'm not kind enough or nice enough, rather.
Absolutely.
Y'all think the same?
Yeah. I think especially for me, because I do feel like I'm kind, but I'm really playful, like really jovial. So like when I'm not, people are like totally turned off by that. They're like, oh, okay. So I definitely know like the switch of like having to be kind and like always having to put your best foot forward. Like even
It's
when
exhausting though, right?
even when you don't want
It
to.
is, but you know, but perception is reality. So how somebody may perceive you is just their reality. So I know I was told a lot when I was younger that I was rolling my eyes at people, and I was like, I didn't roll my eyes, but it's kind of like that rest and be face, right? So that if I'm not smiling, then I can look like I'm. So that's the perception I'm putting out. So
Yeah.
you know, I want to seem like I'm kind, so therefore I purposely change that. You know what I'm saying? I worked on that. Like, I don't want it to be that someone thinking I'm rolling my eyes at
Yeah.
them, or that I'm not being kind. Yeah.
And so what has been like, wait, I want to talk about something really quickly, because we're talking about Women's Month. And one of the things I thought about when we were having these conversations is I feel like there's not enough conversation or enough acknowledgement of people or women that are not straight women during Women's Month. Do y'all agree?
Whoopi Goldberg.
See, I knew that was gonna tie in. I knew it. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't see any, like, I don't know.
I think it's weird.
Or is it? I don't think. Honestly, sexuality is just not one of those things that's discussed during Women's Month. Like, I feel like, you know, we got Men's Month, we got Women's Month, we got LGBTQ Month. Like, everybody got their little month. Domestic Violence Month, Breast Cancer Month. So, not saying that during Women's Month and even during Men's Month, there aren't people of the alternative lifestyle. But I think that the focus is more so to be empowering, you know. So, they show women that have, you know, led things in their community and that are leaving behind legacy. And I think just talking about sexuality would kind of diminish what Women's Month means.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't see it. I only see like a certain type of woman represented, even in that empowerment. But I'm also not looking. So there's that. Like, I'm not really searching the web trying to see what people are talking about for Women's Month. But I just thought that, but that was a good point. Like, I can understand that.
But I do agree with you too, that I don't feel like when I look at the women that are being displayed, you don't see, like, you may not know, we may not know.
Right,
But
that's true.
if because we are judging off of physical appearance,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
that it looks like a, you know, prissy woman, a woman that is just straight, I guess we
Yeah.
should say. But in reality, we don't know. We don't
That's
know
true, we don't.
what people do.
Right.
So,
No, that's
We
true.
do not.
yeah.
We do not. Yeah, I agree with you. I think like because of Pride, and that's a big thing, like Pride Month, I feel like the visibility is just not, it doesn't have to be there. Now I do feel like if you wanted to highlight that during Women's Month, that people who are queer, like women who are queer or of, you know, sexuality is different, that they have to live their lives differently, and maybe they've overcome some barriers that other women haven't. I think that's something that people could highlight more, like just for like something that's simple. it's like you don't think about what you're gonna wear on a job interview
That's true.
because you normally wear what you're gonna wear. But see, if for somebody who is, their sexuality is different, it's not straight. They may think like, hey, do I want to go in here masculine presenting?
Yeah.
What if I don't get this job? Like, and then it's like, if I do go in here and I dress up and I'm not myself, I have to dress up like this for the entirety of this job.
Right.
Right. And
Like,
I've been
this
trying
is
to
it.
get you to wear heels forever.
I mean, if they make them in a size 12, I'll put them on.
Oh, you really gonna be looking like Whoopi.
But that is actually something that I've
Sister Act 4.
that is something that I've never actually considered. I just never considered that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how the things that people that are queer have to think about
Right.
that I ain't think about. I do think about what I wear to job interviews though, because I
Right.
don't be wanting to wear the professional looking stuff. I be wanting to mix a little bit of my style in it.
Yeah.
I do think, but not. I wouldn't think that this will impact
Right.
the outcome.
Yeah.
So that's just a different barrier I've never thought about. Thank you for sharing that.
I think it ties into the whole DEI experience too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's like if most people, if you go into corporate, let's talk about corporate. You see a woman go into corporate and they may be, somebody of the alternative lifestyle and doesn't dress feminine. 9 out of 10, they probably not gonna get that job just off their look.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They already judge you off of how y'all wear your hair.
Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started.
So now,
That's a whole thing right there.
yeah,
That's the benefit of working for yourself or working for places that accept you as
Right.
you are, right?
Absolutely.
It's like I don't have to worry about what my hair looks like.
Right.
I
Yeah.
remember one time I did a workshop for a place out in Indianapolis. And I go there and my braids were longer than the ones they are right now. They were almost they were pretty long.
Right.
And I remember I had I don't know if I had took my hair out for a second and they saw me on camera. When I came back downstairs, they were like, oh my God, how do you use the bathroom with that hair?
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
anyway, they like, how do you use the bathroom with your hair and all this stuff? And there's just things as women that we do have to go through. How we look, how we dress, right? A part of looking, how we speak,
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
advocate for.
Right.
It's just frustrating.
So what is one thing that y'all feel like y'all would want to change about how people view women in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, what's something that y'all would want?
I knew Lexus
Because it's
Well,
not
just-
gonna happen overnight. We
Yeah.
already see everything, that y'all had to go through and come through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
which they're trying to revert back.
I
Right?
know.
Yeah.
I mean, in this administration, in this government, in these political environment right now, I would love to be able to see a woman president. It didn't have
Yeah.
to be Kamala. It didn't have to be Hillary. I don't, but we're so behind
Yeah.
as a country. I mean, there are Arab countries that have women presidents.
Mhm.
And so the fact that America doesn't, we don't have representation for our daughters to see what leadership looks like, but we rather have this buffoon. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, that's what I like to see in the next
Yeah.
5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
But it seems like we got a lot of backtracking that's happening right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would piggyback on that. Just equality. Like,
Mhm.
I just think that certain things get tiring. It's like, why is this still a conversation?
Mhm.
Why
Yeah.
is this still a topic?
Yeah.
Why are we still like fighting for equal pay? Why is
Right.
it still this and that? So I do feel like that's why I was like 5 to 10 years. This take hundreds.
Right.
We still not doing good. So
Still not doing.
Not that you asked me, but it makes me think about. I know I'm the host, but I want to say something. I protecting women.
Mhm.
Like I would love to see more protection with women in the next now.
Right.
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 Like
Protection,
even-
protection from who?
that could go a few different ways.
it could go
Right.
a whole
Yeah,
right
no,
different
that's a
way.
good question.
I
Like when you say protection, what's the first 1 or 2 things that come to your mind?
I'll say this, right? So Greg and I just obviously we have this podcast.
Right.
I say something on social media, black men attack me.
Mm.
They called me abusive in our comments.
Oh wow.
They told me to shut my mouth like I ain't got, why you keep talking? They don't say nothing to Greg.
Wow.
But they come for me. And I'm not, obviously not, I don't know these dudes.
Right.
Yeah.
But they come for me. And we see it often that Black women are not protected. There was a video that came out where this guy had like physically hit this girl. Nobody did nothing for that girl.
Restaurant?
In the restaurant.
Mhm.
So it's like, like, when are we going to be protected? And I'm not even just, I'm talking more so about Black women at this
Sure.
moment. Like, when are we going to be protected? When is our psychological safety going to be consistently protected within our community?
When we demand it.
Yeah.
I mean, so not for nothing and put Greg on the spotlight, but if you have somebody in y'all's podcast stream coming for you, he needs to check them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's just how I feel. Like it has to start where we are demanding it. I demand my husband protects me. You know,
Mhm.
that was an important factor. You know, when we got married, that I had a protector. I didn't want someone who was going to let someone talk to me any kind of crazy way or let any. No, we have to demand it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
I think that's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just to clarify though, it wasn't a stream; it was a comment.
Yeah, it was.
It was
it was
a
a comment. It was a
Yeah.
comment, and so
No, but I'm saying, but check them even on the
Yeah.
comment where then
Yeah.
they see that it is from your co-host saying, okay, you know, whatever it is, like just correct them, you know, or whatever, you know, just check them.
yeah,
Check them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
important. I mean, that way they know in the future ones won't come, you know, and if they want the smoke, then you
Oh
check
yeah,
them too.
I'll be in the comments. See, so when we first started, she was in the comments. Now I'm in the comments. So I'm in the
Okay.
comments. I'm talking junk back a little bit, like,
Gotcha.
oh, y'all sound.
I'm the
crazy.
nice. I'm the nice
She's
one.
the nice commenter. I'm like,
I'd be like, oh, that sounds so sad. Greg be like, well, what you should have done was, nah, he doesn't. But we do definitely have different approaches. But I do like that. But I'm also talking about like as a community and not in intimate spaces.
Right.
I'm saying like when, you know, Dwayne is out, and I stay using him because he the one here. But when Dwayne is out and he sees somebody being disrespectful to a woman, he's advocating for that woman because she is a part of his community. And
Yeah.
so not
Yeah.
even in intimate spaces. I want it to be a knowing. Like, yes, it can be a teaching for the people that are in my space right here.
Yeah.
But for the rest of them dudes, I want it to be a knowing. I want when other Black women walk into a space, no matter what their sexuality is, they are protecting that woman.
Again, demand.
yeah,
Let me tell you something. I don't touch a door. When I go to Wawa almost every day. I love Wawa. I go get coffee, whatever. I'm not. If there's always men standing outside of Wawa.
Mhm.
I'm not touching the door. It's Black men, white. I don't care. They're gonna open the door, and it's like almost like. And I'm not standing there looking crazy. But it's something about walking in confidence where they will. But we have to also remember. People, you know, women also have some stuff with us too, right? You know, so there
Not
may
me.
be some, yeah, okay. But there may be some men that's like, you know, I got involved. I was a, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
innocent person getting involved, and I done got messed up and didn't even know what I was getting involved in.
That's
So
true.
it's
Yeah.
hard sometimes, you know. So I can say I wouldn't want Dwayne just picking on him, but I wouldn't want him just going
always getting picked
and
on.
trying to be the good Samaritan and didn't realize that she just spit on him.
Mm-hmm.
right,
Right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you because a lot of times we don't know the situation that's happening.
Yeah.
And to force ourselves, like, you know, the cops may show up, and now we in the middle
Right.
of
That's
something,
true.
and
Yeah.
now we got to defend ourselves.
Right.
But who's defending us?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think that in some scenarios, yeah, of course, we should be standing up and protecting Black women. But I think in other scenarios, it may be out of our hands where
Yeah.
it's kind of like somebody else may need to intervene because what we do know is that Black men, we get attacked too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we on the same team. It's not just Black women being attacked. We being attacked also. You know, we just get attacked differently. Right. So it may, and for us, a lot of times it may be a little bit more aggressive that we gonna get attacked because we are men.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Yeah.
look at
I'm
us.
sorry, this is Women's Month.
She
I
tore that
wasn't.
up.
I was not gonna say
I-
anything.
but
It
all
was
the-
giving a Me Too movie.
But I can
And I
understand
feel-
it. But
let's be clear.
Yeah,
When
that's
George
some-
Floyd happened, Black women stood up.
Mhm.
When Breonna Taylor happened, Black women stood up.
Mhm.
And where was the Black men? You know what I'm saying? We are always the ones standing up. The Black
I
men
don't
don't.
agree with that.
In bigger numbers, Black women are always there. You know, for everybody. We are always. We are always.
Percentage-wise,
There.
yes, I agree with that. But I feel like I don't like statements like that because it makes it seem like across the board, like black men aren't
of course,
there for black
nothing's
women.
gonna be.
It's not everybody.
Of course,
Yeah.
not.
You know
Of
what I'm
course
saying?
not
Like
everybody.
it's still a large population that are. So then
sure.
for those people that are, then y'all put us in the bind where it's like, damn, we not doing enough, or
No,
like,
no.
what is it that we can't do? That we can do, or how would you like us to at least advocate for the ones that are supporting you all? How would y'all like us to advocate to the ones that aren't, to bring them on, you know, so that we can now be cohesive?
That's a good question.
I think holding them accountable. Like when you see, because
Okay.
you know you got a homeboy.
Right.
Yeah.
There's like, I ain't saying nothing, I ain't see nothing,
Right.
but just holding them accountable. And like I always tell my friends that are guys, I'm like, yo, one day you're gonna have a kid. And you can't choose the sex of that kid. So like, would you when you see certain things, I think you have to keep that in mind, because it's like almost setting you up to be a father to a daughter. Like I always say, like how you treat women, I feel like is kind of might end up being a reflection of how you treat your child. So
Right. Or
being
how other
very
people would treat
yeah,
you.
Right,
how other
exactly. I
people
was
treat
gonna
your
say
child.
that.
Yeah. So just being mindful. I think as a brotherhood, you guys holding each other accountable. Like when you do see somebody else that's not, just
Yeah.
And it wasn't to vilify the ones who are.
Yeah,
Right? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's going to be extremes with everything. So never
Right.
is going to be, and really if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply, right? That didn't apply to you. It applied to the majority. I mean, that's when, it was COVID, right? During that time. And we was out riding our bikes, because the streets was closed and stuff. But there were a lot of women who stood up for these things. And I mean, when Tamir Rice, when Trayvon Martin, all these, it's women, I marched in these things. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big advocate for justice. And I mean, there's a big amount of women who, the mothers out here, right? But, you barely see the fight. And it's not to say they don't exist. But again, like you said, percentage wise, right? But I agree, making them accountable. Like you need to get out here and, protect them too.
Despite rising societal stressors, it's possible to take care of your well-being. Levels Mental Health provides compassionate care for those experiencing mental health challenges. Our holistic approach addresses anxiety, depression, behavior issues, and trauma, ensuring individuals feel understood. It's time for accessible mental health services for all. Visit levelsmentalhealth.com to learn more, schedule a consultation, or donate to expand outreach and support our community.
Yeah.
And-
So, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, because we're talking about accountability, we were talking about holding our brothers accountable, but how can we as women hold each other accountable?
Oh no, they can go one or two ways.
So I want to piggyback and add to that question, because I was gonna ask you all, like, what does sisterhood mean to you? Like, whether it's actual family or just the sisters that you gain throughout lifetime.
I played basketball. So for me, it is a lot of, and I have family that I would consider my sisterhood for sure, a bunch of them. But I think sisterhood was always so important, because I always felt like you're putting 12 strangers on a team together. We're all women. And a lot of teams I played for, majority of us were Black. And so I do think sisterhood to me looks like this unwavering sense of like, I got your back. Like no matter what. It would be certain things that like, because games get heated, stuff gets heated, and I've had teammates like in my face yelling at me, and me thinking like, if this had been a lady on the street, like yeah, this is over. But like just the respect that we have for one another, because I know you want the best for me, and I think that kind of is what
It's that
sisterhood
trust,
feels
too.
like with me. Yeah, like trust. I know you're not doing this
Right.
maliciously. You're doing this because I'm watching the ball roll across the floor, and maybe I'm tired. But I think that's what that looks like for me. Just like this support, like this trust, this support, this like, I got your back no matter what happens. Sometimes
I agree with
you
the
need to be
loyalty.
checked, and you could be dead wrong. Holding people accountable, stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, the same, right? Loyalty is big. And also, being able to check someone, but also being checkable.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes people know how to go in and critique everyone. They can do the critique sandwich and they, but they don't know how to take it themselves.
Yeah.
So being able to sisterhood has a lot to do with that. I just had a Galentine's. Crystal was there, and I mean, I consider those women my sisters. And it's like I know that I can call on them at any time. But it's a difference of like calling on someone but not using them. You learn that getting older. Like you don't want to use someone. But also being able, like, figuring out what is important to you. You have to. Everyone's definition gonna be different.
Yeah.
Like I still want to be able to chill. I want to be able to laugh. I don't want to be uptight all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because life truly is short. I've lost some very dear people to me already. Unfortunately, and it makes me honor the sisters that I have. I mean, I have biological sisters, but I have a lot of sister friends that just mean the world to me.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
What does sisterhood mean to me? I think my pastor says this best, or my old pastor says this best, and he said it's people that help you multiply your joys and divide your sorrows. And my friends do incredibly good at that. Like I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking of them because I love y'all so much.
Yeah.
And in those moments when like I just need an ear, and that in those moments when I'm celebrating a win, and I get to call one of my friends, or when they call me.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not really always about like me calling them,
That's
but when somebody calls you
Right.
to share your joys,
Right.
I'm not even, the sorrows. I'm here.
Sure.
Everybody know.
Right.
But when you get excited about a thing and you want me to know about it,
Yeah.
it's an honor to be able to walk along with my friends in this way. And so I would say just that ability to do that with my friends is what that sisterhood is.
Yeah. That's dope. Dope. So what is it that y'all feel like is missing? Now I feel like I'm just interviewing all three. You over here like, you supposed to be helping me. Nah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in this too. I'm a woman. Let me in.
Oh, so weak. What do y'all feel like is missing for the young generation of, young girls that's growing up? What's missing that you all may have had in y'all early childhood?
Coof. It's what my grandmom used to say. They don't have no coof. I don't even know how you spell that. COOF. I don't know. They don't have it.
We're going to figure it out with ChatGPT.
No, I mean, it's like, I think social media has destroyed what, authenticity is. So, I mean, we have friends and we knew that was our friends, we knew their numbers by heart and, whatever it was with these girlfriends, but now it's all for show. I mean, I saw someone post the other day, they were like, what's going on in the clubs? It's almost like they turn on their phones just to go in and jump around 30 seconds, but then they stand up against the wall. Everybody's fake. And then they're fake in the friendships and they're fake in the sisterhoods and they're talking about each other. And, so it's like maybe when they can mirror, my daughters, they see that with my friends. So they mirror that with their friends. So maybe if they have more of that, but, I don't know if it's in like my generation, I'll be 50 this year. So I don't know if it's like...
Okay, good.
We're going to get there in a minute. So
things, but I'm saying I don't know if it's my generation where something got lost, that then those kids are not good friends, sister friends to their friends. Yeah. But it is something that's happening. I mean, look at what just happened. You talk about basketball. Look what just happened on the track field where the girl hit the girl with the baton.
Yeah,
wait, why is she saying she didn't do it on purpose? I'm like, you
everybody
sees.
Like, was up.
Okay.
That's wild.
Was she possessed?
She knocked her out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, sorry. Good point. How the F is this a podcast? Dun. Okay. Thank you.
What do I think is missing? Oh, boy. I guess, I agree with you a lot. I mean, I think it's the social media piece. Like, it's not really, like, everybody's their own PR. So, like, everybody's always got, like, this image to uphold. So I do think once the sisterhood really can't even be created because I'm only with you because of what you can do
Yeesh.
for me. Like how you make me look, how this is aesthetically pleasing, how we look in the club together, how many followers do you have, what designer do you have?
Right.
So I don't think that like the sisterhoods are being created authentically because people aren't getting together authentically.
Correct.
So then when somebody does something that inconveniences you and you don't agree with it, it's easy to walk away from that person. I ain't like, you know what?
Right.
So now I'm gone. So I do think that has a lot to do with it. And I have younger siblings. So like I see things. Like I watch, I see, and I mean, yeah, they got to get off that gram.
They gotta get off.
They
that
gotta get
TikTok.
off the
No, they need to stay on
ticky.
the TikTok because we need to follow it.
That was
You know
good.
what?
That was good.
Little plug.
Little
So,
plug in.
like, what about when can y'all think of a moment when a woman showed up for you as you're talking about, like, what our young people need? Can you think of a moment when a person showed up for you?
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
We gotta get. Y'all know what these little girls is missing?
Uh-oh.
They missing real grandmothers.
What?
That's what
Uncle
they
Greg?
missing. They missing grandmothers. Like
Well,
there's
hold on.
grandmothers out here, but
Not
I mean
the-
like I'm
not the
talking
real
about grandma
ones.
that look like grandma.
Right.
You know, like these grandmas. No, it is not. No, that's no disrespect. These grandmas they outside. Like they look like these grandmas look good. But our grandmothers was like soul grandmothers. Like they really cooking. They really watching their kids.
But the
they,
more and more people are getting, the more every generation doesn't want to be like the other generation. So I
Yeah.
feel like we might circle back to it at a certain point, but that's what I realized. Like a lot of people don't want to do, like they like, I'm not doing what my grandmother was doing.
Yeah.
I didn't like being with my grandmother. She was old, or she was just always working, and she didn't have her own joys.
yeah.
Like when we think
Oh,
about
I love going to my
about to
grandma.
say,
no,
I
but
loved going to my
I'm thinking, no, but I'm thinking about some of the people that have had grandparents. Like they're not excited about being grandparents because of their experiences with their grandparents.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's all I can share about that.
I think that's gonna happen with any relationship, right? You know, there may be mothers
Oh,
who are
of
not
course.
good mothers. You know,
Of
but
course.
I'm with you. My paternal grandmother, she was super mean, but she was still loving. You know what I'm saying? It was like I won't say mean. She was strict. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I mean, like you couldn't walk without having slippers on in her house, and just I mean, she just was very strict. But
But they
she-
taught you a lot. Like looking back.
she absolutely did. You know, but and I loved going to her house. And my maternal grandmother, I mean, absolutely. I mean, she was sugar. She was straight sugar. So yeah, you know, missed them. You know what I mean? So no.
But do you think that because of those examples that you will show up like that for your grandkids?
I cannot wait to be
Yeah.
a grandmother. Excuse me. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
My daughters are like, leave
Don't put
me
that on
alone.
them. Don't
They
put that
are
on them
so-
kids.
they're
I got
so annoyed
y'all.
with me.
I got y'all. Don't put them on them kids.
They are so annoyed with me.
They're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Mom.
no, I mean, but no, I because I can send them home, you know, because I can love on them and then like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's
no,
a
I
gift.
cannot wait to be a grandmother. But you asked a question. I can't.
Yeah, about
Yeah,
what
sorry.
No, I'm
woman
sorry.
what has a woman describe, let me start over. Describe a moment when a woman has shown up for you in your
Yeah,
life
when
that changed it.
immediately it made me think about my first lady. Okay, so my first lady, she had breast cancer, and you know, we watched her just be super resilient with breast cancer. Then I was diagnosed in 2017 with breast cancer, and we had a okay relationship at church, just like, you know, how you doing, the respect kind of thing like that. But all of a sudden, I mean, she was calling. She just was checking up on me while she's going through herself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she just wanted to be an encourager to me. And I'm ever grateful for that. You know, I mean, because, you know, and it gave us a special bond. You know, we had our own, you know, private conversations that I cherish. And I say it in that way because, you know, she ended up succumbing to the disease and I end up, you know, getting healed. And I have kind of like a survivor's guilt about it, you know, where it's like, gosh, why me? But instead of trying to, you know, stay in the guilt, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take what she taught me and I'm going to be that strength for someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you for
wow.
that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was nice.
I feel like that deserves some snaps or something.
Yeah. Nice. Man, mine ain't nearly that good.
This ain't a competition.
I
Alexis.
know,
We're not
I
on the basketball
know.
court.
I know. No, I know.
It's not a competition. You know?
I just don't want people to be like, oh, okay. I don't want to ruin the moment.
No.
We're here. Nah, in a lot of ways, but I had this guidance counselor in like the 7th grade. And I was a quiet, believe it or not, I was a quiet kid like in middle school because I was a little nerdy. So it was like sixth grade. And I was good at basketball. And so she just watched me. Like, I came in school, she just watched me. And then one day she just came and got me out of class. She's a black lady, Miss Peck. She came and got me out of class and she was like, hey, I'm putting you in honors. And I was like, okay. And she was like, tell your parents, like when you get home. And that really like shaped, she was like, because if you're good on the court and you're good in school, this is gonna double your ability to get into school.
Yeah.
And so I felt like if somebody didn't take an interest in me that soon, that young, like if I wasn't visible to her, like I'm gonna probably bet $1,000 that if it had been a white male guidance counselor, I'd have been rocking and rolling. But she was like, no, you have the ability to play, and we're gonna put you in these honors classes, and you're gonna make the grades, and I'm sending you to, a specialty center. Like you gonna get yourself together, basically.
Yes.
So that's like one of the moments I think
That's
about.
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good.
That's right.
That was good.
right.
That was good. That was good.
Shout out to the guidance counselor.
I
Shout
hope
out to
she
Lady
doing.
C too.
I hope everything turned out good over there. Yeah.
Are there any like books, podcasts, what y'all listening to that y'all shows that you
that
feel
inspire you as a woman?
Yeah.
Right?
No.
That's hard. That's hard.
That's fair.
I like Fervent by Priscilla Shire. I don't know if you haven't read it. It's a easy read. She is an absolute powerful woman of God. She normally is like that woman that loose and stuff. Y'all seen her before.
She was on that movie.
She was in a movie. I forgot the name.
Dang.
But y'all have seen her
The
before.
prayer closet, the prayer room.
The prayer room. Is it the prayer room? I'm not sure. But I know what you're talking about because I've seen that too.
War
But
room.
It is War Room.
Yeah.
It is War Room. But Fervent it kind of changes the way, she talks about, really praying more consistently. And I reference it a lot because, sometimes you get off course and it's like, if we, anyone who might say they're a believer, it's like, you can't really get anything done without prayer. That has to be the pinnacle of what you're doing. It doesn't matter about how much you're showing up at church or tithing or anything else. You have to pray. That is the communication with God. And she goes on and on about it. It is a very easy read. It's a bestseller. Y'all, if y'all don't have it, get it, read it. It's good.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for that.
As far as any shows, I just got finished watching Paradise.
Me
It didn't have
too.
anything to do with womanhood so much, I don't think.
That's the fact that he left his wife in Atlanta.
He didn't leave her.
Well, he could have told her that the world was coming. Y'all seen that?
No.
He could have told her that the world was about to end, and he didn't.
He didn't know.
Yes, he did. He knew something was coming.
He knew something was, but they didn't tell him.
He knew enough.
She was stubborn.
This is serious. I might have to tune
Well,
in.
because Sherman
What is this
Brown,
stream
like,
on?
no, this is a whole thing.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
like a whole thing on
She was stubborn.
Instagram. Like,
She
there's
was
a
super
debate.
stubborn.
Really?
Okay.
There was a
Yeah.
debate about
Because
why.
I see the discourse, but I'm like, I'm watching Severance right now on
I've
Apple
never-
TV.
I haven't seen that.
Sci-fi. See, that's
Oh,
why I
okay.
said I'm gonna opt
Gotcha.
out. I mean, one thing that I could say is empowering right now is like women's basketball. I do watch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I want to go to a game this year.
you should
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
go to a Mystics game.
What's your favorite team?
That's tough.
Mm.
I don't think I really have one. Not
Okay.
WNBA team. I think I will probably once Juju Watkins gets drafted, but not right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything y'all want to share with our listeners before we close out?
No, I really appreciate you guys
Yeah.
asking me to be here. It was fun, and I do, I do hope that people take the tidbits of things that we said, and can use it somehow in their life. Go on and get those little Rugrat kids together and stuff, because they're the next generation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you both shared so many gems that I believe will be beneficial to the people that are listening to you both. From sharing your story about how you started and being leaving state lines to be a nanny to then own multiple businesses
Yeah.
from surviving cancer. I remember, y'all, just random. I was living out in DC and Neci had I don't even know what age she turned, maybe 45. And she had a birthday party. It was like on a Wednesday. And and I was like, sure, of course I'm gonna come. It was like 1,000 people in this place. So just the fact that you started where you started and you have gained such a community, I hope you know that I'm incredibly proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm always in admiration of you.
Thank you.
And Lex, to just hear your story, so I don't know you as intimately, but to hear the things that you shared about how you grew up and the connections that you have made and all the ways that you contribute to your community with mental health, but also your mindset. You are just such a phenomenal speaker that I didn't even know. I mean, I've talked to you briefly, but I mean, your wisdom,
Yeah.
like the things that you shared.
Agreed.
I cannot wait to go back and record, and I cannot wait for the world to hear what you have to say. And I hope that both of you, though I know you do talks all the time with your with the company that you work for, and I know that you do stuff too. I hope that y'all let the world see you more because we really deserve to hear you.
Yeah, I appreciate this,
So-
guys, for real. Even
Yeah.
We
considering
appreciate
me,
you.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I enjoy,
Yeah.
sneaking in on the women's show today. I know I wasn't
You're welcome.
invited, but I enjoy sitting here chatting with y'all, even though I almost got beat up.
I mean, you
So,
almost
no-
tried to take it away, and that's what we need to think about.
Yeah. Man, so many gems. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. We'll
See y'all
catch y'all.
soon.
Yeah. Bye. I ain't got nothing else.